Amped up, Friday, March 21 of the year 2025. Red team, go! Gold team, put 'em up! Unit, salute! We got a good one today, man. A packed, stacked, jacked show for you today. Some good news coming in the world of pro wrestling in totality, because it seems latest reports indicating that after this week's Monday Night Raw, finally there is concern within the walls of Stamford, Connecticut. Finally, the upper brass of WWE, we can only hope that includes Hunter Hearst Helmsley, they are finally concerned about the lack of enthusiasm for WrestleMania. Well, damn, it took you this long. It took this past Monday night to finally make you go, our plans really are not resonating, are they? Maybe because A, you never had any plans, B, the last minute scraps that you did put together are absolutely imploding at the seams. Yeah, the lack of interest has been there from day one, when Jason Uso won a Royal Rumble, and then Charlie Flair wins a Rumble, and we see nothing but brawl after brawl after brawl. No stories. A bunch of title changes. A lot more brawls. This is WrestleMania. 4 weeks away, everybody. 29 days away. And now, it took an entire world of wrestling to show immense backlash to Jey Uso and Austin Theory's matchup and the post-match activity with Gunther and Jason Uso. It took that backlash. It took a whole world of pro wrestling to look at the Rhea Ripley segment and go, what is that? To the point where they're even taking somebody that was pretty over, Rhea Ripley, and fans are going, dude, Whiny Rhea is not it. Because Hunter made Rhea Ripley Whiny Rhea. And fans are literally saying no to Whiny Rhea. They don't need another Daniel Bryan situation. You remember many moons ago, several WrestleManias ago, they were setting up Edge versus Roman, but fans started crying that Daniel Bryan needed to be in this match. They had no creativity, so they just had Daniel Bryan pretty much cry every week. And then he got put into this show, rendering the Royal Rumble useless, by the way, because Edge won the damn thing. But he just cried his way in, because fans wanted to see it. Company didn't know how to do it properly. And when it was all said and done, Roman just did exactly what he did. He stacked bodies, right? He just had Edge and he had Daniel Bryan on top of Edge, or maybe vice versa, and he pinned both of them. Was that what you wanted to see? Edge versus Roman many months later, or I believe it was Money in the Bank? When they finally did have their one-on-one match, it was way better than the triple threat. So then you fast forward it, and Rhea's doing the same thing. She's crying her way in to this title match, rendering the Royal Rumble useless, because if Bianca wins or Chamber, I should say as well, because Bianca won the Chamber, but it's rendering both useless. Bianca wins the Chamber and she still has to take on two individuals. It's utterly stupid. Io somehow is in this equation. Io gets a title match before Bianca even got her title match, and then Io wins it. It's all... what? And then they wonder, after a Raw like that, they finally go, there's a lot of backlash right now instead of excitement. We'll talk all about it, guys. It's coming up in today's Amped Up. Again, a lot of reports coming out that now finally WWE is showing concern. WWE is now a little worried that their WrestleMania plans are not resonating. You think? Bro, you got Jason Uso going for Gunther's title. Jason Uso! In a match we've already seen a bunch of times. Stop. This doesn't feel like Kofi Mania. It doesn't feel like the Yes Movement. It's just a bunch of people that like the yeet. And if you don't like the yeet, well, then I guess make a pot of coffee, go play in traffic, go paint somebody's house. I don't know. Do something, man. Pick up a bad habit. That's the best I can offer you, because you're going to see the same match at Mania. You're going to see Charlie Flair get her 86 championship. You're going to see a bunch of schmaz matchups. And now they want to show concern. Now, all of a sudden, if they listened to BC from the jump, they would have known this, heard about this, and showed concern much sooner. We'll talk all about it. It's coming up. Ooh, that's just one story, guys. I got plenty more. We're going to talk AEW catching up to NXT. If I'm Shawn Michaels, don't look in the rear view mirror, dude, because you're going to have Tony Khan driving up really fast, doing freaking 90 and a 50. Sean's going to be like, right? Sean's listening to his greatest hits, his 90s greatest hits. Shawn Michaels is just bopping along, right? Bop, dop, dop, bop, ooh, bop. I do it all for the bop, bop. And he looks up, and all of a sudden, there's Tony Khan. He's, you know, that face that Tony, oh, hey, Sean, I'm coming up. And there's AEW, man, because NXT took a hit this week. They went backwards in the ratings. And I told you guys, I never BS you in my reviews. If you ever listen to a BC review, the numbers will always reflect what I am giving you guys. I said NXT was not, the women held their own, the men absolutely botched, booking-wise. And that dragged the show down. And sure enough, they went backwards. And I told you guys that this week's AEW Dynamite was actually better than last week's. AEW went up. The problem is NXT is going down too much. AEW went up enough to now they're right there. AEW has caught up to NXT. Well, you say, well, BC, that's not that big of an issue, is it? Well, a big chunk of the community is claiming that AEW is the worst thing in pro wrestling. It's unsalvageable. Now, it'll never come back. It'll never be anything. It's totally done. There's never been anything this bad. But they could any moment pass NXT. So is that same energy going to be put into the NXT product? This is no developmental. This is a brand from World Wrestling Entertainment that every single week has a bunch of main roster talents on their show. Stop. It's a show that at the very end, when the credits pop up, it literally says Hunter Hearst Helmsley's Paul Levesque McMahon. Whatever he says. What does it literally say? Just Paul Levesque. We like to add the McMahon. Hunter Hearst Helmsley's name is on that thing. With Lee Fitting and Shawn Michaels. So that's a WWE product, bro. So, yeah, if AEW is the worst thing in pro wrestling, if it's beating NXT, which is produced from World Wrestling Entertainment, which also has a prime time slot, well, maybe AEW is not the worst thing in pro wrestling. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. I don't do the whole tribalist thing. I know there's diehard WWEs and diehard AEWs, and they both like to rock back at one another. But let's keep it honest, though, right? Let's keep the critiques and the criticisms exactly where they should be. 44 dive, straight up the middle, factual information. Let's not let fandom get in the way to blurry the vision of the goal that we are trying to achieve, which is the foundation that we're all trying to get to, right? The foundation of making pro wrestling great again. Yeah, BC's on. I've had a lot of coffee, man. We're recording this a little bit later, too, so it'll probably get out to you guys a little bit later. Oh, that's not it either. So we're going to talk WWE finally showing concern that WrestleMania season doesn't feel like WrestleMania season. We're going to talk NXT. AEW has caught up to NXT. We'll give you the numbers. I have the AEW Dynamite rating for you guys. And we're also going to talk Alexa Bliss. You're not going to believe why Alexa is being pulled from WrestleMania. Was not seen this week. But you know what? You shouldn't be shocked. And this is just a report, so we don't know. It's not confirmed, but this is the latest report that we're getting. And once we talk about it, you might not be too shocked. You probably shouldn't be. We're also going to talk TK, man. His answer. This has not been made publicly by Tony Khan, so we'll wait to confirm that as well. But the reports we're getting as far as WWE getting the rights of Sting to induct Lex Luger into their Hall of Fame this year, TK will have his response. It might not be what you guys are thinking. Again, this is not a public response. This is what is being talked about backstage. Apparently, Tony Khan is making it known what his answer is going to be. And it might not be what you think. Might take you by surprise. Probably shouldn't, though. I'll tell you why. Also, we'll have some fun. Kane, probably the funnest challenge Kane has ever laid down. That's right. Kane, Fire and Brimstone Kane. Yeah, he's laying down one of the biggest challenge of his career, man. Hopefully it's taken lightheartedly. Some may not take it that way. And And what else? That might take us to the brink right there, man. If there is more time to talk but if we reach that hour, we'll just save the other stories for another day. SmackDown, the review will be within the next 24 hours. Be on the lookout for that. That's being recorded in Italy, I believe. But it's not Netflix, so we don't get to see that live. So we'll just do the results, spoilers, all that. That's how you can catch up with that. We're not going to do that. We're just going to cover the show as it is on a normal week. So there'll be no spoilers, nothing like that. Even though by the time that you guys get this upload, that'll probably be out there. SmackDown is promoting Liv Morgan versus Jade Cargill, Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu, Zelina Vega versus Piper Niven, and Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk, all in a segment together to set up a random, nonsensical, stupid AF triple threat for WrestleMania. Babyface versus babyface versus babyface. For no reason. Punk and Rollins? Okay, I can see that. Rollins and Roman reigniting their feud from years ago? Okay, don't need WrestleMania for that. And manufacturing a CM Punk Roman Reigns feud last week or 2 weeks ago? Stupid. Just because you have nothing for these three, and you gotta find a way for Punk and Roman to be in the same match. You're putting three of your top baby faces into one match just so Jason Uso can yeet in the main event. Awesome. All right, that's going to do it for the cold open. We are going to get right into these stories without any opening signature. Make sure you guys smash that up. Helps the algorithm show support to the channel. Appreciate that big time. It cost nothing, nada, zilch. Absolutely free to super kick that like button. Drop a leg drop on it. Give it a Warrior Power Slam or a Batista Bomb. Do a little Braun Breaker status. Give it a Frankensteiner from the top rope. Maybe some Jacob Fatu action, right? That like button won't answer the count of 3 or 10. But yeah, smash that up. I do appreciate it. Cost absolutely nothing. If you do want to chuck a coffee at the channel, never needed, always appreciated. Channel membership, always a way. Obviously, the super thanks as well down below, but membership as well if you want to chuck a coffee at the channel, just like a snowball, right? Like it's a snowball and you're just chucking snowballs at the channel. Coffees can be chucked at the channel. I do appreciate it. Like Dave Mealy on our last live stream, chucking Dave Mealy on the live stream was making snowmen and chucking snowmen at the channel. Dave Mealy was dropping coffees all over that live stream, man. Dave, I appreciate that if you catch this, man. I was just, every time I would look up, right? Because I'm running a show over here. We're doing a live reaction to Monday night. Every time I looked up, Dave was chucking a coffee at the channel. But guys, never needed. That's just if you do want to support the channel on another level. Channel memberships. Or again, the super chat, super thanks, obviously. But the like button, that's free, man. I mean, everybody should be doing that. Support the channel. Make sure that BC continues to rock on here on the platform. Let's get into the first story, and I want to talk NXT AEW. NXT went backwards this week from 700-some-odd-thousand to 676,000 viewers, 676. Meanwhile, AEW's number came in late yesterday. AEW came in at 658,000 viewers. That was against March Madness play-in games, too, by the way. Basically, playoffs. So for those that like to say, like, oh, you know, they're up against competition. You guys know I hate saying that. I hate excuses like that. But that's what we do these days, right? There's always an excuse as why a number went down. Well, this was March Madness play-in games, and AEW went up. So that's what I mean. If you're putting your best product, your best foot forward, you'll at least compete. Or at least if you put on your best show, you're going to see a number that is worthy to talk about and not shy away from. Even if you're not going up, if you could stand your ground at least. It doesn't matter if it's a holiday or if it's a playoff game or a presidential debate. Doesn't matter if it's your grandmother's 125th birthday. That would be an achievement. But if you're putting on your best show, guess what? Your audience will tune in one way or the other. Up against some stiff competition, AEW actually went up 658 from last week, 628. Now you say, well, BC, that's just 30,000 viewers. Yeah, that's you when you're only pulling in 600 some odd. And you can gain viewers up against stiff competition. And your direct competition, let's just forget about main roster. Let's forget calling that competition right now. Their direct competition, we know what it is. It's NXT. Whether you want to call it developmental or not, doesn't matter. That's WWE's brand. That is direct competition, I feel, to AEW. And guys, AEW just pulled in within 18,000 viewers of NXT. That's huge. For months and months, all I hear in the community is chirping about how AEW is done. They're dead. They're never coming back. They're atrocious. It's the worst product that we've ever seen in wrestling, so bad that it can't come back. It's just done. Tony has to fold up now. But 18,000 viewers away from NXT, which is also in a prime time slot one night later, or should I say earlier, Tuesday nights. You're 18,000 viewers away. Why would AEW, why would Tony Khan pack up anything? I just hope that same energy is being placed on NXT. If AEW is the worst thing you've ever seen in wrestling, and all of this time is being spent talking about how bad AEW is, then I hope you keep the same energy with NXT. Right? That's what we do on this channel. On this channel, we always talk about last week's AEW. What did I say about it? That was a bad show. That was just bad. Like, I can't even defend anything that happened on the show. I was literally saying that. NXT this week. What did I say about NXT? I said, dude, the women carried the whole load because the dudes in their booking, it was bad. That's what we talk about. Raw, don't even get me started. Raw sucks every week, and we talk about it. The one thing we all have in common is we love pro wrestling. We want to see all of these companies and brands succeed. The local bingo hall that fills 25 people a show, if they're lucky, I want them to succeed. I want them to one day consistently have 50 asses in those seats at that bingo hall. But we can't get to that goal unless we're truthful. That's why on this channel, we don't do tribalism. I just don't pick one company over the other. If it's all bad, which unfortunately a lot of it is most of the time, we got to talk about it. And when it's good, we'll praise the heck out of it. Are you kidding me? Of course. But you got to be honest about it. Keep that same energy about NXT. If AEW passes NXT, I hope all of that volatility goes to or transfers from AEW to NXT. I hope all of that hostility, right? All of that hostility, the Bischoffs and all those talking heads, I hope they switch it and go to NXT because now there's an even worse show, apparently. I'm just saying, man, I hope we keep the same energy. It's probably not going to happen, though, right? Because everybody already has their shtick, right? Everybody already has the base, right? They know where to go to if you just want to trash AEW. There it is. There it is, man. Right? Could you imagine if Jim Cornette just started talking positively about AEW every week? Could you imagine? People would be there'd be a lot of people pissed off. I like Jimmy C, by the way. I understand AEW fans probably don't want to hear that, but Jim Cornette is he's such a, I don't know, man. Something about Jim Cornette. The dude's hilarious. But my point is, you get a lot of people pissed off. They'd be like, no, it sucked. Tell the truth, Jim Cornette. Are they paying you now? Right? I mean, that's what happens, guys, is it becomes like a shtick to a lot of these people. It becomes kind of their, it's the game that they're playing at that point. It's like a narrative. It's an agenda that's being pushed at that point. So even if they're beating NXT, you're not going to get that type of hostility toward NXT. You won't. Right? They probably won't. They'll say they don't even care. Oh, that's developmental. We don't care about. Bro, it's a primetime WWE show. And AEW's beating that company that's only been around approximately 5 to 6 years ish. WWE's been around a lot longer than NXT's been around longer than AEW. So all I'm saying is drop the tribalism a little bit and just keep the same energy. If you want to rip AEW, say it's a bad show, this and that, that's one thing. But what I've been hearing for months is that it's the worst show we've ever seen. Apparently they didn't see some of those WCW shows before it kicked the bucket. Worst show. It's never going to be able to come back. It should be a shame to even be on the air. Guys, they're closing in on NXT once again. They're one good week away, and if NXT fails again in another week, they're 1 week away from actually passing them again. Both shows have one thing in common. They're severely lacking the viewership. 600,000 is what we're talking about. From 6 to 700,000 range. That's pathetic. Both shows, if wrestling was truly booming, both shows would easily be at 1 million. Bare minimum. Bare minimum. It's a primetime television show. Weekly episodic. And they're having a hard time pulling 750,000. But NXT can't get better if people aren't going to be honest and talk about NXT having to get better if all the focus is just on Tony Khan's AEW. They're the worst thing. Tony Khan's the worst thing in the world. Why? Because he has a wrestling product. You don't like it. I hear you. I don't like most of what Hunter Hearst Helmsley is doing, unfortunately, in WWE right now. Raws suck. SmackDowns are barely any better, if even. WrestleMania season feels like a crown jewel season at best. But you still want to see it succeed. I'm not just going to trash WWE and then go, oh, every week AEW is amazing and NXT is so much better. Just put NXT stand and deliver where WrestleMania Night 1 should be. WrestleMania Night 1 can go on Friday, stand and deliver on Saturday, and Night 2 WrestleMania on Sunday. No, man, you just be honest about it. I watch a wrestling show, and this is my honest critique on it. AEW was much better this week than last week. That's what I said in my review. I said NXT, man, that wasn't too good. The ladies tried all their best to put it on their back, but in totality, it wasn't good. And what was that finish? Retribution negative 2.0. And look what the numbers told you. My critiques were accurate. AEW was better, and they went up. NXT was not better than the week previous, and they went down. That's what happens when we're honest. The numbers will always back up what I'm saying because I'm completely honest with you guys. If we carried that honesty, if more of us were, the products would get better because they'd be hearing the accurate information and not just all the motherfuckers blowing smoke up their ass. It's the truth. Mic drop. BC. Swig of coffee. On to the next story. AEW has caught up to NXT, though. This is their time next week to really put it into overdrive. And if you're Shawn Michaels, you got to find a way to pull apart yet again. There was a moment you were over 100,000 viewers away from them. They got complacent. They started putting out trash. And AEW is like, hey, they're about to pass them on the highway. Let's stick with Tony Khan. AEW reports indicating that TK will not allow Sting to induct Lex Luger into this year's Hall of Fame. For those that don't know, it was talked heavily that Lex Luger wanted Sting. So there was some people that reached out, I guess, to AEW. And behind the scenes, this is the report that we got. We did not get any confirmation from Tony Khan. So I cannot confirm this 100%. But the latest reports we are hearing is that, and you guys can look that up yourself, that's out there for everybody's knowledge. Tony Khan is not keen on the idea. He is not going to let WWE have Sting. So that might take you guys by surprise because he's been pretty lenient in previous times. But why you should be shocked is look at the way WWE treats him. I mean, every which way, if they are a pissant t-shirt company or whatever Hunter called them, then, I mean, they wouldn't go out of their way to try to, like, stomp them out at the most pettiest of times, right? And I know all is fair in love and war and business, but some of the things they're doing, like just double booking events. What is there? All in Texas? All in, all out, all over the place, Texas, whatever it is, right? And WWE's holding the events there. They're always trying to put NXT up against it. They have a tour of London, so WWE is doing a complete tour of the UK. I believe that's August, something like that. And I can go on and on. Like, you guys don't even realize what WWE is doing. Now, at first, you can absolutely say, well, WWE is so big. Do you honestly think they're thinking about AEW when they make every decision? No, that's not what I'm saying. But guys, they absolutely get their plan in place, and they hire several individuals to make sure that it does not conflict with anything going on that date anywhere else. There are literally people that get hired, many of them, that make sure that the date and the time they are choosing for any of their events does not conflict. Every top organization will do that. For instance, like the Super Bowl. More so companies that are going against the Super Bowl. They will not want any part of that. They will make sure they're not booking anything on the Super Bowl. Some conglomerates, they don't want to go against like award shows. Emmys, Grammys, they don't want to do it. March Madness or anything like that, a big playoff weekend, they'll stay away from it. WWE is absolutely notified that All Elite Wrestling, whether you look at them as competition or not, that's your prerogative. But they're aware that the second biggest company in the U.S. up front for wrestling is holding an event around the same area or the same date or the same weekend. They absolutely are notified that. Now, in days past, WCW and WWF, they would actually change their plans up. And you could say what you want about the Bischoffs and such, but there was times where Bischoff even switched things up, not to conflict with WWE. But Hunter won't do it. And in fact, it seems like Hunter goes out of his way to even amplify the weekend that AEW is in town or something of the like. So instead of having one show go against AEW, they'll have like a whole weekend. NXT, the main roster is going to be there. This is every which way. And then, of course, there was the contract tampering, right? The reports that Hunter was constantly and consistently talking to all these AEW talents about coming back to WWE or coming to WWE. Tony found out about it through, we believe, Chris Jericho, Bryan Danielson, and a few others. And Tony Khan got pissed. Like, dude, what the they're under contract. You're talking to them. And so many other things. Again, when they beat him in the ratings and Hunter Hearst Helmsley was asked about it, he said, congratulations, you beat our developmental program. Bro, you weren't talking about them as developmental the whole time. NXT, you were saying several times, you were looking at it as an equal to the main roster. Like, that was the dance. But when you got beat, it all of a sudden became a t-shirt company. Development, or they were a t-shirt company. Congratulations, you beat a developmental program. And you can go on and on. And when WWE wants one of their talents, they thought that they were going to do like a TNA and just, okay, no problem. Here's all of our talent. Use them however you want. You can throw Joe Hendry out of the Royal Rumble in 60 seconds. We're fine with that. One of TNA's top stars, by the way. But hey, as long as his music plays and people talk about him for a minute. And then all of a sudden AEW is supposed to oblige by the same rules. Oh, you want Sting? We're not even going to ask for it. Here, take Sting. He's going to be on the global stage of WWE again. You know, so if this report is accurate, I wouldn't blame Tony Khan. He's going to take some heat for this. Dude, this isn't a Hall of Fame induction. Stop being petty, Tony. But, you know, petty started from Petty Paul, Levesque McMahon. So I think after all that's been done to Tony Khan, I think he can be a little bit petty here and say, no, we're not giving you Sting. Congratulations, Lex. I'll buy you a Rolex, right? Tony Khan will buy Lex Luger a nice Rolex as a congratulations. But I can't give you Sting. And again, there's 4 weeks away. Maybe he will give him Sting, guys. Again, we don't have a confirmation on any word that Tony Khan has put out publicly. This was just the latest report that we got was Tony Khan is going, no, you're not getting Sting. And I know a lot of you guys might think, well, Sting's already retired, BC, isn't he? Yeah, but he is under a contract with AEW, I guess. That's what we're hearing. So almost like a Legends deal would be. He's got something with Tony Khan, so that's why That might be a lot of people are like, wait a second, isn't he done with AEW? Not in totality. So it's just it's interesting, if Luger is not able to get Sting, then he's not able to get Sting, man. Contracts are a real thing. And if Tony Khan thinks that he was being tampered with by Hunter Hearst Helmsley in the past, no, I'm not just going to give you one of my dudes, whether he's retired or not. Much love to Lex Luger. Not much love to you is what Tony Khan is telling Hunter Helmsley. Listen to this. This is fun. This is a wild Kane story. Kane laying down a challenge for the ages. I'm hoping people can. I'm guessing Kane is hoping that people can have a laugh with it, but in today's climate, maybe not. But Kane, the Tennessee mayor of Knoxville, I don't know if he still is. I think he still is. The Tennessee mayor of Knoxville, Kane, challenged former Democratic VP candidate Tim Walz to a charity wrestling match. Apparently, Walz said he can kick Republicans' asses. Now, I didn't see or hear maybe he was saying that in like a fun way. I could kick their ass, because he's a Democrat. They don't get you talk about tribalism. You think WWE AEW is tribalism. Try being a Republican and a Democrat in the U.S. Oh, boy. That's not. Oh, it's a rough landscape. So I don't know if this Waltz guy was being funny or is he like literally saying, screw them, I'll kick their ass. I don't have no idea. That's probably not the smartest move because you're going to get some tough dudes, man. Republicans have some tough dudes, pro wrestlers, all the pro wrestlers, most of them. Or at least like the badass ones, if you notice, they're very heavy onto the Republican side. And you're going to get people like Kane that's going to go, all right, dude, let's go. And Kane will... Undertaker, bro. You could have Undertaker. I mean, for Waltz, it's not the greatest move because this is just in the wrestling world. People will take you up on that. Undertaker would step up. Stone Cold would step up. Hunter Helmsley could. McMahon's blown out quads trying to get to Tim Waltz. Remember Tyrus? Tyrus is huge, man, in many ways. He's a big dude, man, but Tyrus is very big into the political game. If you say you can like kick his ass, somebody like Tyrus will go, all right, let's go. So that's what Kane did. Kane heard this and said, cool story, bro. Let's do this. And it's a charity thing. Kane said it's $10,000 up front. We could make it higher. $10,000 a piece to our charity. We'll have a charity wrestling match. It sounds like Kane is not actually going to whoop his ass. Maybe they do a wrestling thing because Waltz, I guess, in this interview mentioned WWE style. So maybe Kane's just having some fun back, have a wrestling match, and some good organization gets $10,000 for each, the Republicans and the demos. So possibly, right? So he says, I'll throw down the first 10,000. And he said seriously, too. He said, seriously, let's do this. I'll throw down the first 10,000. Just get back to me. So I don't know. That's interesting, right? Imagine if, this Waltz dude seems like a loony enough character in a funny way to go, let's do it. Like he seems like somebody that would go, F it, let's do it. You could see Kane versus this old Waltz guy. Who's the special guest referee? I don't even know. You got to put Vinnie Mac. No matter how you feel about Vinnie Mac, I got to see Vince referee this thing, man. Oh, I don't know, man. It's Friday. That's where the stories are taking us, guys. Let's get back on track here. Let's talk Alexa Bliss. Fightful reporting that there is no issue between Alexa and WWE. So it remains cloudy as to why she was not seen recently on WWE television, but also the reports we are hearing, you guys can see for yourself, look it up, whatever, that she was pulled from WrestleMania 41 activities, all events, including WWE World. That was the weirdest thing because everybody goes and signs at WWE World, but not Alexa. Then that follows the reports that there was nothing for Alexa for Mania. But now we're hearing that there is no issue between the sides. It just falls back to Hunter Helmsley has nothing. Not just for Mania, but nothing. So she was wrestling a few matches. There was some glitching as if she's going to join the Wyatts, as if that's going to make a damn of a difference. As much as I like Alexa and Bray to the top tier status, that was so awesome and I missed that and it sucks we're never going to see it because Bray is gone and Alexa is much different anyway. But if you try to recreate Alexa with the Wyatts when the Wyatts can't even be booked properly as is, and Nikki Cross is already a female in that group and she's got nothing, then what do you think's going to go on with Alexa? You're going to try to put Alexa and Nikki and have them as a tag team? Could work if booked correctly. Do you honestly give that benefit of the doubt to the man of three H's? Because I don't. He hasn't shown one iota that he can book that group properly. They haven't even been seen in months. They quietly moved over to SmackDown after they got baby powder in their eyes. But Alexa came back anyway, won a couple of matches, had some glitching, and then she's gone. And now we're hearing from Fightful, there is no reason, there's no hostility between the two sides. Hunter he has nothing. You brought back Alexa before Mania, and you don't even have anything for Alexa for Mania. This is ass backwards. But you probably shouldn't be shocked, right? Because sadly, that makes complete sense in today's WWE. Moving on. And this will be good. This is actually one of our big stories, right? WWE, the reports that we're hearing is that WWE is finally showing concern, finally acknowledging the lack of enthusiasm for this year's WrestleMania. And it took this past Monday night's Raw, right? That's what the report that I'm going by. That's what it's after Raw and the backlash that came with it. WWE's upper brass is now concerned with the lack of excitement and enthusiasm for WrestleMania. It took that. I've been saying this since the beginning of time, before dinosaurs roamed the earth. All of it makes no sense. Charlie Flair is going for her 85th title. Wow, how exciting. Jason Uso is in one of the main events against Gunther in a rematch of a rematch of a rematch just so he can yeet afterwards with 70,000 people. And we can all act like this feels like Kofi Mania, like it feels like the Yes Movement, when it doesn't, not even 5% of it. It's a tag team guy who really, really has to battle to show personality and charisma. Sadly, just 46% on the mic at best. Moves have diminished stunningly as an individual wrestler. I don't know what happened to Jey Uso in his in-ring skills. But that's what we're getting on the same night or same weekend that Charlotte Flair is going to win her 86 championship. We got 3 top baby faces going at it for no reason with nothing on the line in a triple threat. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk. Why? What's on the line? What's it all for? Nothing. It's stupid. They're going to have to really, really like make this big on tonight's SmackDown. They have to do a segment that just at least, even though it's still not going to make sense because they're manufacturing this out of nowhere. Or is it just going to be a brawl? Or they're all going to be a pull-them-apart brawl? And the chaos is why you have to see this. 3 of your top baby faces because you didn't plan correctly and you have nothing for them. So you're just going to put them all in a match, a triple threat with nothing on the line. 3 dudes fighting over nothing. Awesome. And the ladies, same thing. Bianca, Io, Rhea, babyface, babyface, babyface. At least this is for a title. 3 faces. Where's all the heels, we're asking? Where's all the heels? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. They're nowhere. Wyatts, forget about WrestleMania. They haven't even been seen. Nobody even knows where the Wyatts are. Alexa's being pulled because they're like, oh shit, we really have nothing for you either. Valkyria is a champion, I believe, correct? We don't know what the heck her WrestleMania... I don't even know what her feud is. It's more Ivy and Dakota has more of a feud than anything Valkyria has. And she's a champion, and we're 4 weeks away from Mania. There's no storyline for Valkyria. Are you fucking hearing this, man? You know BC is correct. You know that, man. Whether you love BC or you're kind of iffy on BC, but you listen because you know I'm going to give you the factual information that needs to be said. Val in her championship. You can go down the line to any champion, really. Who's the tag team champions? Street Profits just won. They don't have a storyline. The whole tag team division just brawls each other every week. That's the storyline. So how are you getting excited for anything the Street Profits do at Mania? You're not. You know damn well that any tag team on SmackDown that faces the Street Profits, you guys know that's a SmackDown match at best. At best. And in normality, it's just a house show match. Pretty Deadly, DIY again, Motor City. Those are SmackDown matches because we know because we've seen them all before. But we'll put the WrestleMania logo above it and we'll say it's a Mania tag team title match. Oh, I'm sorry. That's if they even get a Mania slot. Normally, the tag team titles aren't even defended at pay-per-views. They don't get that type of prestige. What else? Chelsea Green? Does she even have a feud? She's been facing Michin for the past 85 months. She's more concerned with NXT in a matchup with, which I liked, by the way. I think it was such a good match and such a good, like literally, even just like visually, Sol Ruka. But my point is, I mean, Sol Ruka and Chelsea's the advertisement 4 weeks before May. There's nothing for Chelsea. You can go on, and I'm talking title holders, guys, that have nothing for WrestleMania. And at the last minute, they're going to be chucked in, hurled into these weird matchups. Braun Breaker is face-to-face with Penta, a face. But they've just been trying to make Braun Breaker a face, right? Where the dogs and everyone's barking. They're all barking. So a good way to make Braun Breaker more of a face and no longer a tweener is to put him in there with another face, Penta. How does that make any sense? Where are the heels? Why is Breaker even turning face? Gunther could have been a diabolical heel, should have been. Hunter doesn't know how to book him correctly, so he has him shaking hands with Cody Rhodes one day, shaking hands with Randy Orton, saying stupid things like, Jay, if you pick me in my title, I'm going to give you 10 weeks of hell. And then all of a sudden, every single week, Jey Uso is whooping his ass and Gunther's running away. How was that 10 weeks of hell? You think fans just forget that? That's WrestleMania season. BC's been calling it out every single damn day when nobody else will. And this past Monday is finally the straw that broke the camel's back. It took this past Monday's backlash for Hunter Helmsley to go, oh, people aren't down with Mania this year? No, we're not. And if you don't know what we're talking about, 2 huge backlash moments this Monday. Huge. I mean, the wrestling world was like, what are they doing? Basically what BC has told you every single Tuesday morning after Raw on the reviews, or live while we're watching Raw some Monday nights. Basically, the whole wrestling world, finally, and I'm talking even WWE diehard fans, were like, dude, that sucked. And we're talking Jey Uso and Austin Theory, 60-second squash match over Austin Theory. And then after the match, in which, by the way, Jey just was botching everything. He just was not there mentally. His father said he looked exhausted the last time he saw him. So he's not handling this top-tier guy thing good at all behind the scenes. And it's leaked into the ring. The guy can't even have a 60-second match. It was sad to see. And then afterwards, they tried to make him Superman by beating up Gunther and chasing away Gunther, even though Gunther attacked him from behind. And fans, man, they statistically, when WWE put that up on their YouTube channel, it got absolutely destroyed on the ups and the downs. It was like 75,000 to 15. 15 on the up, 75. It was wild, guys. I mean, fans were just showing they're just raging on this, how bad this was. And this is a dude that's supposed to win the world title so everybody can yeet. And people were like, dude, that whole thing sucked. And it starts not with Jey Uso. It starts with Hunter Hearst Helmsley. There was no time restraint. This is Netflix. It's not cable television. They just knew Jey couldn't go more than a minute, probably, unfortunately. Watch the jokes. We still like Jey Uso. We just him at Mania winning a title, it makes no sense. It's stupid. But that wasn't the only thing that raised so much backlash. Rhea Ripley came to the ring after Io and Bianca signed their contract. Rhea jumps in, takes them out, picks up the contract, signs her name on it, and yells, "I'm in it now." And Adam Pearce is screaming, "Give me that, give me it back." And Rhea is screaming, "No, you can't have it." And Adam Pearce is like, "Give it to me." And Rhea's like, "No." And it was like a toddler and their parents. And the parents say, "Give me that back." And the toddler's like, "Nyeh, nyeh. Give me that back." Nyeh, nyeh. And you just watch this for 5 minutes. I mean, that's what we were doing. I couldn't believe it. I think that I was still live with you guys. I believe that was a live stream we were doing. That's up on the channel now for channel members. But I also talked about it the next day for everybody in a recap video. I couldn't believe what we were watching. But because I was live, I had a lot of things going on, the chat, the stream itself, my playback. So I couldn't give that the attention that I really wanted to. But after it resonated for 24 hours, I could not believe they just had Rhea go down there, steal a contract, sign her name on it, which, by the way, that's not a legally binding thing because above the actual printed name is where you sign your name on any contract. So Rhea's name wouldn't have even been on that. So that's not even binding anywhere. So you know they're going to have her do some stupid shit, right? She's going to either cry her way into it, or Adam Pearce will have her win a match, or say, do something stupid, and she'll earn her way in. Fans are against this, man. And it started this past Monday. And it was so cool to see. It was really cool. Even Rhea Ripley fans, and this is why I say much respect, because even Rhea Ripley fans were like, dude, that was bad. Like, that is not going to help Rhea, her character, her reactions. So it was really cool for everybody to finally just tell the truth. Stop blowing smoke up Hunter's ass and say, dude, this sucked. And it was just bad. And Rhea comes in and signs a contract, steals the contract, and then behind the scenes says, no, I want in this match. Here it is. I signed it. I want, no matter what. And then she went on her social and she's like, no matter what, I am getting in this match. So she's just crying her way into the match. Everybody's talking about Daniel Bryan from years ago, WrestleMania, when fans were outraged because Bryan wasn't in this Edge versus Roman match. Well, he didn't need to be. Edge won the Rumble. Roman's your champ. Bryan can see his way into another conversation. But fans cry just like they did with Cody Rhodes and so many other times, and they buckled. So Daniel Bryan's only story was just cry every week, basically. Just go out there and whine that you should be in the match. And then they put him in the match. Boop. And what happened? Roman just stacked them up, pinned them both, and that was it. And fans were like, that backfired. Like, were they expecting Bryan to win the title? That was the story. Daniel Bryan just whined, and it actually hurt Daniel Bryan more than anything. And I tell this story all the time, the way Daniel Bryan tells it. If you listen to Daniel Bryan talk about that night and talk about that whole lead up, Daniel Bryan till this day says he does not know why he was in that matchup. He had no business being in it. He said it felt awkward. It wasn't fair to Edge. To this day, he claims if it was up to him, he would have no business being in that match. Yeah, one person in the community absolutely stood by that, and that was BC. I stand by Daniel Bryan because I was saying, what are you doing, dude? This is so dumb. He's just going to cry his way into it, and then what happens to the Royal Rumble? It's rendered meaningless because now Edge has to still face two people. So you're doing that now. It's the same thing. The whole story is going to be Rhea Ripley is crying. Rhea Ripley is whining her way into this match until Pierce gives a stipulation or she has to win something, and then she earns her way in. A gauntlet, maybe. You have to face 5 people. So then when it's done and she's all sweating, people are like, all right, now she earned it. Now we're okay with it. Struggle in adversity. The problem with that is it still renders the chamber meaningless. She didn't win that. Bianca did. And we're still asking why Io even got the match up first. But okay, Io won it. That's it. Rhea's got to go to the back. Or you better have a creative plan for her to get her into a match to make us believe that a 3-way is necessary. A triple threat. And they don't. They were hoping that we were just going to accept whining, crying Ripley. And I'm so happy that everybody rejected it. No. We don't want whining, crying Ripley. It's stupid, and that's not how we want to view her. Love it. Honesty, man. So I hope they change course now. Change course. See your way out of the... Sorry, not sorry. This is a business. Sometimes you make that bet, you got to lie in it. It's Io, it's Bianca. That's the match. Sit back, watch the magic happen. They'll tear it down. Didn't they do that in NXT, I believe? Put them on the main stage. Don't give them any time limit. Let them rock. That's what I say. But now, all of a sudden, Hunter Helmsley and WWE is like, oh, no, it doesn't feel like Mania season, does it? No, Hunter, it doesn't. So change it. That's what I got for you guys, man. 44 Dive, that is a wrap. Until next time, there will be that next time. Smacketh down. Again, Liv Morgan versus Jade, Strowman versus Fatu, Zelina versus Piper, and Roman Rollins and Punk in a segment together. We expect this is where they're going to try to really sell us that this is a good match for Mania. Is it just going to be a pull them apart brawl, or are they going to put some meaningful story into this? We shall see. They're in Italy, I believe. Either way, wherever they are. It is going to be a pre-record, so technically by now we could have spoilers by the time you guys get this upload, but we're going to treat this like a normal week. Tomorrow you guys will get a full review, and I'm hoping it's a lot more positive than the trash we have to talk about here. But hey, if those upper brass in Stamford are now feeling concerned, well, you know more now than ever before how truthful BC has been with you from the jump. Because now even WWE, the upper brass, is feeling that fire. That's a good thing. We get a better product that way. 44 Dive, that's a wrap. PC in the unit. We're saying salute.